Chapter 13 Rescue the School Beauty. Qin Hao was shocked. Fortunately, his speed was not slow either. He hastily turned his head to the side, and the huge fist passed by his ear. The wind from the fist caused his ear to feel a piercing pain. Expert. Qin Hao realized the severity of the situation, and threw a punch at Chang Luo with all his might. "Eh?" Chang Luo exclaimed softly. He had obviously not expected that not only would Qin Hao dodge his attack, he would also swiftly counterattack. Even so, the late stage was still the late stage. The middle stage fighting with it would be akin to striking a rock with an egg. Chang Luo wanted Qin Hao to completely understand this point. He wanted Qin Hao to feel despair, to not be able to resist at all, and then obediently surrender to him at his feet, to be a dog. Therefore, he did not dodge. He wanted to take Qin Hao's punch head on, and let Qin Hao understand that hitting on him was like scratching. Bam! Qin Hao's fist accurately struck Chang Luo's lower abdomen. Although Chang Luo was already ready to receive the punch, when the fist struck his abdomen, he realized that he was wrong. This punch was definitely not made by a middle stage of the beginning stage, far surpassing the strength of the middle stage of the beginning stage. Could it be that he had seen wrongly, or Qin Hao had hidden his true strength, that he was actually also a late stage of the beginning stage? Now that there was no one to answer his question, he felt as if his intestines had been smashed to pieces. Oh! With a cry of pain, he was sent flying backwards. Hong hong! Two explosive sounds could be heard. A car was smashed through from the side by Chang Luo, and a car behind was hit as well. It could be seen how powerful the strike was. This was Qin Hao's most powerful attack. Seeing that, Tang Wei was so shocked that his mouth was wide open. Qin Hao himself was also shocked. Damn, I was actually this fierce? At that moment, his confidence rose rapidly. Without waiting for Chang Luo to get up, he leaped up, and like a cheetah that had flown, kicked hard at Chang Luo's stomach. He would not give the enemy even a chance to breathe. Oh, ah! Chang Luo screamed miserably, as thick blood spurted out from his mouth and his eyeballs seemed like they were about to pop out. When Qin Hao moved his feet, Chang Luo was already lying on the ground like a dead dog, with only a little remnant of his aura remaining. "Cousin!" Tang Wei screamed in shock. This shout made Qin Hao turn head to look at him, causing him to let out a strange cry as he ran towards the direction of the door. However, when he reached the door, he realized that the door had been closed. When he closed the door, he wanted to shut it on Qin Hao, but now that he was the dog, and filled with regret. Qin Hao hugged his arms, and walked towards Tang Wei step by step. It was finally his turn to look at Tang Wei in ridicule. "Run, why aren't you running anymore?" Tang Wei anxiously turned around, his back pressing onto the metal door, and he was so shocked that his head was drenched with sweat. "Student Qin Hao, no, big brother Hao. No matter what, we are roommates and classmates, right? You let me go this time. I'm willing to follow your lead. I'm willing to be a dog by your side. I bite whoever you want me to. Go bite your sister." Qin Hao kicked out at him. "Huh?" Tang Wei's screams were even more earth-shaking. His whole body was intimately stuck to the metal door. Until Qin Hao took back his leg, he was still stuck to the metal door for a long time before he fell to the ground with a thud like a dead toad. Qin Hao had no interest in him anymore. He turned and walked to Chang Luo's side, squatting down while speaking sinisterly. "Tell me about the martial cultivator. If you make me satisfied, maybe I will let you live." Chang Luo opened his mouth, and blood came out. What do you want to know?" "Tell me everything you know, and I'll be interested to know." "Alright, I'll tell." Chang Luo reaped what he showed today and had no choice but to admit defeat. He then gave a general summary of what had happened to the martial cultivators in this world. After hearing everything, Qin Hao finally understood that there were too many strong existences in this world. The profound martial sect that Chang Luo resided in, the strongest had already reached the spirit stage, and it was equivalent to being a fourth-stage martial cultivator. He was just a mere first-stage martial cultivator. They could kill him with a single slap. Therefore, if he wanted to become the strongest martial cultivator in this world, and be able to move unhindered, he had to become stronger as soon as possible. Qin Hao once again longed to become stronger. Qin Hao was very satisfied with Chang Luo. After knowing everything he wanted to know, he no longer paid attention to him and walked over to remove both Liu Wenbin and Lin Miqiao. The moment he was released, Liu Wenbin trembled and said, "Qin Hao, how did you become so powerful?" "It's very simple. One night I met an immortal. The immortal saw that I was extremely handsome, so he gave me an immortal pill. After that, I became powerful," Qin Hao said casually. "You're so lucky." Liu Wenbin was extremely jealous. "Damn, you really do believe me?" Qin Hao was speechless. This bookworm, he must have gone silly from reading. We should hurry up and leave this place. I'm afraid." A weak voice came out from beside him. It was Lin Miqiao's voice. "Lin Miqiao, don't be afraid, I'm here," Liu Wenbin shamelessly said as he deliberately went close to her side in order to be her escort. He had completely forgotten that he was crying so hard from fear just now and had almost wet his pants. Of course, Lin Miqiao did not believe that Liu Wenbin had the ability to protect her. She instinctively avoided Liu Wenbin and went closer to Qin Hao. "All right, let's go." Qin Hao glanced at Lin Miqiao, then turned and walked towards the garage's door. Lin Miqiao hurriedly followed, afraid that she would be left here by Qin Hao. "The door is closed. How are we going to get out?" Liu Wenbin anxiously followed, and looked at the door as he asked worriedly. Qin Hao did not care about him. He walked to the door and fiercely kicked the lock a few times. Under the shocked gaze of the two people behind him, the door was forcefully kicked open by his foot. What kind of foot was that? After the door was kicked open, Qin Hao turned around and helped to pick up the motorbike that he stole from before. This stupid thing would definitely die if they were all sat on it. "Lin Miqiao, come back with me on the motorcycle." Qin Hao thought for a while and decided to bring Lin Miqiao along. Hearing that, Liu Wenbin became anxious. "Qin Hao, what about me? You can leave here and go back with a taxi." "Ah, but..." "What bet? Do you want me to bring you back and leave Lin Miqiao here?" "No, that's not what I meant," Liu Wenbin explained. "I wanted to say, can we all ride the motorcycle together?" "No, it doesn't have enough power." Even if it had enough power, he would still not bring Liu Wenbin along. In the end, Liu Wenbin was mercilessly abandoned. Qin Hao took the school beauty with him and whistled towards the school. He deliberately pushed the motorcycle to its maximum, and it shot out like an arrow released from a bow. The sound of the wind whistled past the ears, scaring Lin Miqiao, who was behind him, to the point that she hugged his waist tightly. Her breast was pressing tightly against his back, causing him to feel so good that he almost fainted. Under such a speed, normally, the 3 to 4 hours ride was shortened to just more than 2 hours. Lin Miqiao, who was on the motorcycle, was a little suspicious. Didn't he say that this motorcycle was not powerful enough? On the other hand, Qin Hao was somewhat regretful. Why would the journey be so short, to arrive so soon? The motorcycle arrived at the apartment building where Lin Miqiao lived. Qin Hao was reluctant to have Lin Miqiao get off and leave. He was still thinking it would be much better if she could hug him for a while longer. Unfortunately, Lin Miqiao still got off. "Classmate Qin Hao, thank you for saving me today," Lin Miqiao said gratefully. Facing Qin Hao, she did not have an arrogant attitude. Qin Hao waved his hand. "There is no need to be polite. You should be more careful in the future. I'll be leaving now." With that, he stepped on the motorcycle and left. Since he couldn't take advantage of her now, he might as well leave straightforwardly. Seeing Qin Hao leave just like that, Lin Miqiao felt a sense of loss in her heart. What kind of man, didn't he want to send her upstairs? So many men wanted the chance. There was nothing she could do now. She could only go upstairs by herself. When she went upstairs to her roommate immediately exclaimed when she saw her, "Mickey Hao, you're back. Heavens, are you alright?" Mickey Hao smiled, "I'm fine." Then hurry to the principal's office. Your parents are here, and they are causing trouble at the principal's. The roommate hurriedly said. Mickey Hao was startled. My parents, all right, I'll go now. I'll go with you. Her roommates were very loyal, she immediately followed her out of the room. In the principal's office, the principal, who is already bald, was being tormented by Mickey Hao's parents and drenched in sweat. He was so anxious, like ants on a hot pan, rolling around in circles. The police had been called, but after so long, there was still no news from the police. Mickey Hao's father was one of the school directors. If he was to cause trouble, this principal would definitely suffer. Fortunately, as Mickey Hao rushed to the principal's office, the principal looked as if he had finally seen the light of sun. He let out a heavy breath. The principal's position had been saved. Qin Hao didn't think that he would even indirectly help the principal by saving his position. At this time, he was returning the motorcycle to its original place, preparing to go find something to eat. He had been tormenting for several hours. It was already past lunch and he was a bit hungry. Qin Hao, Qin Hao. There was someone calling him from behind. The voice was very familiar. He turned to see that it was Suzu. As that place regained its former grace and became even more beautiful than before, Suzu once again donned the tight clothes that displayed her beautiful figure, and today, she was dressed even more captivatingly. A few guys by the side of the road were too entranced. They accidentally stepped on the empty air, immediately fell down with bloody noses and swollen faces. Next was a waist covering with a long dress. It was filled with an unconcealable feminine beauty. In addition, there was also a light makeup on her face. As the saying goes, a woman would dress up for those who amused her, but people didn't know who she was dressing up for. Behind her, there was a man wearing fancy cloth. He was dressed in tuxedo and had flowers in his hands. Suzu, why are you in such a hurry? If you don't like watching movies, then we can go to the opera, or go watch ballet dancing? Oh right, let's go watch a horse show. I heard that a world-famous horse show came from Russia. It's really exciting. The man chattered non-stop as he chased after Suzu's footsteps. Suzu impatiently said as she walked, "Nayu Shi-Fi, I am really not interested in these things. You should ask someone else over, don't waste time on me." Hearing this, Nayu Shi-Fi said with a solemn face, "Suzu, don't tell me that you still do not understand after all these years that there is no other person who can replace you in my heart. You are the only woman in my heart, and you were, are, and will be. Now that I've finally found you here, I won't give up." Suzu laughed bitterly. "Nayu Shi-Fi, why do you have to go through so much trouble? With your conditions, you can't even find any other woman. Why do you insist on me? We are not match. No matter what you say, it's useless. I just like you and will not give up. Unless you have a boyfriend, you have no reason to refuse my love for you." Nayu Shi-Fi's tone was firm. Suzu stopped and said seriously, "All right, I'll tell you then, I already found someone I like." Nayu Shi-Fi was stunned for a moment, but quickly recovered and laughed. "Suzu, this joke is not funny. I know you've been single all these years." "Yes, in so many years, I am indeed single, but just a few days ago, I was no longer single. I don't believe it unless that person is standing in front of me." Nayu Shi-Fi would not stop until he crashed into the wall. Suzu immediately swung her long hair, and rushed forward with dang 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 sound, towards Qin Hao, who was looking at them. Before Qin Hao could even cry out, Suzu had already rushed over and grabbed his arm, hugging him intimately over and grabbed his arm, hugging him intimately over and grabbed his